Hey, welcome back to the Introvert Circus. So, I have been seeing so much drama on social media and online in the last few days about this topic, and I just needed to do a little sound off about it and give my 2 cents. So, there has been a lot of sort of controversy and posts about service dogs who participate or compete in any number of canine sports, and there seems to be just this very strange sort of pushback against it from folks who are suggesting that handlers who participate in canine sports are somehow not disabled, which makes absolutely no sense to me, and or that it's irresponsible for service dogs to be participating, training, competing in any sport, because it's putting them at unnecessary risk, um, and that's not appropriate because they're a service dog. And this is just so mind-boggling to me from a couple of different perspectives. So I've mentioned before, I'm a certified trick dog instructor. So what that means is that I'm certified to observe, judge, approve dogs performing in the sport of trick dog for titles. So that's something that I love to do. I do that a lot. And a ton of the dogs who participate in trick dog that I have certified titles for are working service dogs, are service dogs in training, and tricks is one of, or the sport that they do with their handlers in their free time. And it's a wonderful, wonderful sport for dogs to get involved with. In addition to that, I know a number of people with service dogs who compete in agility, high levels of agility, who compete in dock diving, who compete in obedience, who compete in rally. There is no rule that says a service dog, when they're not working, cannot participate in sports at all. Like that literally isn't a rule that exists, and it isn't a rule that should exist. It isn't pressure that I think service dog handlers should be facing, or should be somehow questioning. So a lot of the pushback comes from this idea about risk or inherent risk. And absolutely, we all have to make what we think is the best decision for our dogs on any given day and in their over the course of their lives, right? Whether they're a service dog or whether they are a beloved pet dog. That's our responsibility, is to figure that out. And, from my own experience, I've mentioned before, I have a retired service dog. He turned 17 this summer. When he was younger, we did a variety of things. I competed very, very heavily in agility. When I was a teenager, I trained my now retired service dog in agility. We never competed. It was just something we did for fun, for a period of time, and then moved on to other things. And I know people, as I said, who compete at very high levels of agility with their service dogs. Are there risks involved with agility, with dock diving, with any number of sports? Absolutely. Sure there are. But there's risks involved in a variety of things that we do with our dogs and that people do with their service dogs as well. And absolutely, dogs can get hurt doing any number of sports, dock diving, agility, obedience, anything. Like, anything can happen. That said, dogs that are properly conditioned, that are properly trained, are much less likely to hurt themselves, doing sports. But it's a risk. It can happen. It does happen. Working service dogs who are in peak physical form, which I believe very strongly that dogs who are working service dogs should be in peak physical form. They shouldn't have joint issues. They should be in, good working condition. Those dogs are less likely to be injured. Can they be injured doing sport? Absolutely. And that's something that a handler has to take into account when they start training, when they start going to classes, if they're looking at competing. What is their plan? What is their backup plan if their dog were to get injured? But that's something that everybody needs to be thinking about anyway, regardless of whether or not you're sport training your service dog in their free time. Safety of our dogs is so important. It's something that I absolutely preach about all the time with trick dog. I'm not a fan of some of the tricks that I see sort of going viral on the internet. We also do parkour, and compete in parkour. And I'm similarly, I'm a safety first person for all of my dogs. And, you know, we all need to think about what kind of strain we're putting on our dog's joints. You know, it's something I especially think about. My youngest, Sirius, who is 2.5, she's in Newfoundland. She had bilateral TPLO, which is major reconstructive surgery of both of her knees, not due to any injury. She's never done anything high impact in her life. I lift her in and out of vehicles. We have a bed that is about 4 inches off the floor. She, you know, she came from a wonderful breeder who her parents are OFA'd, excellent, in fact. And she was just a genetic fluke. For whatever reason, her knees and her joints were not great, right? So I think a lot about orthopedic stuff. I have the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in vet bills to you know, be part of that journey for me, for a dog who's never done anything high impact. And so I really encourage people who have never gone down an orthopedic journey to do research, to think about that before you do high risk things with your dogs. That said, I don't think sport training is necessarily high risk depending on the structural soundness of any given dog. And for the record, my dog Sirius, after surgery, has been fully medically cleared by her surgeon and by her physical therapist to do any and all sport training, including agility. They said at full height. I would never jump her at full height for my own comfort, though her surgeon and physical therapist said she actually is fine to do so. But I digress. You know, I think something that I've learned over the course of this is really that one of the top ways that dogs blow knees, which is a really common injury for dogs, is chasing balls, is playing ball. How many service dogs play ball in their off time? The vast majority. Program dogs, owner, handler, trained dogs, playing ball, right, is a really key way that service dogs end up blowing ligaments, or not service dogs, excuse me, dogs in general end up blowing ligaments. Are we going to suggest that no service dog should play fetch? I don't think so. And so for me, it would be just as absurd to say that service dogs shouldn't be training or competing in sports. It's just ridiculous. You know, it's all about making informed decisions. Do what makes sense for you and your dog and have fun. If you're somebody who has a background in dog sports or you want to get involved with dog sports, do it. Find sports that make sense to you. And maybe that looks like lower impact sports, you know, scent work, tricks, obedience, you know, may be better fits for you. If you're nervous about more high impact things like fly ball or agility, might not be, or dock diving might not be the right fit, but there are a variety of sports. But I don't think it's appropriate to question the disability of somebody who does participate in any sport, regardless of what it is with their service dog, or to suggest that it's somehow irresponsible to do that. Anyway, this is a little dog rant. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe if you have not already subscribed. There's a bunch of new folks here. I'm so excited to have you here and to be creating a bunch more dog content. I have some great videos planned, including some unboxings, hopefully coming in the next couple of days. And I'll see you real soon. Have fun with your dogs. Bye!